good afternoon. Today I am going to start once again from the history, nationalism in the Europe. Fourth unit, the making of Germany and Italy. Germany, can the army be the architect of a nation? After 1848, nationalism in Europe moved away from its association with democracy and revolution. Nationalist sentiments were often mobilized by conservatives for promoting state power and achieving political domination over Europe. So, like this way, conservatives were mobilizing upon this nationalist sentiments. This can be observed in the process by which Germany and Italy came to be unified as a nation states. As you have been seen, nationalist feelings were widespread among the middle class Germans. So nationalist feelings were spreading among the middle classes Germans, who in 1848 tried to unite the different regions of the German Confederation into a nation state governed by an elected parliament. This liberal initiative to national building was, however, repressed by the combined forces of the monarchy and the military, supported by the large landowners called Junkers of Prussia. From then on, Prussia took on leadership of the movement for national unification. Its chief minister Otto von Bismarck underlined this. Its chief minister Otto von Bismarck was the architect of this process, carried out with the help of Prussian army and bureaucracy. Three wars over 7 years with Austria, Denmark and France ended in Prussian victory and completed the process of unification in January 1871. The Prussian king William I was proclaimed German European emperor in a ceremony held at Versailles. On the bitterly cold morning of 18 January 1871, an assembly comprising the princes of the German states, representatives of the army, important Prussian ministers including the chief minister Otto von Bismarck, gathered in the unheated hall of the mirrors in the palace of Versailles to proclaim the new German empire headed by Kaiser William I of Prussia. The nation building process in Germany had demonstrated the dominance of the Prussian state power. The new state placed a strong emphasis on modernizing the currency, banking, legal and judicial systems in Germany. Prussian measures and practices often became a model for the rest of the Germany. Then 4.2, Italy unified. How Italy unified, you will read in this paragraph. Like Germany, Italy too had a long history of political fragmentation. Italians were scattered over several dynastic states as well as the multinational Habsburg Empire. During the middle of the 19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states. During the middle of the 19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states, of which only one, Sardinia Piedmont, was ruled by Italian princes' houses. Only Sardinia Piedmont was ruled by the Italian princely house. The north was under Austrian Habsburg. The center was ruled by the Pope, and the southern regions were under the domination of the Bourbon kings of Spain. Even the Italian language had not acquired one common form and still had many regional and local variations. During 1830s, Giuseppe Mazzini had sought to put together a coherent program for a unitary Italian republic. He put together a program. He had also formed a secret society called Youth Italy for the discrimination of his goals. He just formed one secret society called Youth Italy, Young Italy. The failure of the revolutionary uprising both in 1831 and 1848 meant that mantle now fell on Sardinia Piedmont. Under its rule, King Victor Emmanuel II to unify the Italian states through war. In the eyes of the ruling elites of this region. A unified Italy offered them the possibility of the economic development and the political dominance. Chief Minister Cavour, Chief Minister Cavour, who led the movement to unify the regions of Italy, was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. Like many other wealthy and the educated members of the Italian elite, the spoke French much better than he did Italian. Through a tactful diplomatic alliance with France engineered by Cavour, then Sardinia, Piedmont succeeded in defeating the Austrian forces in 1859. Apart from regular troops, a large number of armed volunteers under the leadership of Giuseppe Garibaldi joined the fray. In 1860, they marched into South Italy and Kingdom of the Two Sicilies and succeeded in winning the support of the local peasants in order to drive out the Spanish rulers. In 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed King of United Italy. However, most of the Italian population, among whom rates of the illiteracy were very high, so among the Italian population, some of the people were illiterate, remained blissfully unaware of liberal nationalist ideology. The present masses who had supported Garibaldi in southern Italy had never heard of the Italia and believed that La Tale was Victor Emmanuel's wife. So this was all about Victor Emmanuel's wife. The strange case of Britain, the model of the nation or the nation state. Some scholars have argued in in Britain the formation of the nation state was not the result of the sudden upheaval or revolution. It was the result of a long drawn out process. There was no British nation prior to the 18th century, and that time no British nation was there. During the 18th century, the primary identities of the people who inhabited the British Isles were ethnic ones, such as English, Welsh, Scot, or Irish. All these ethnic groups had their own cultural and political tradition. Like here, it's given English, Welsh, and Scot or Irish. But as the English nation steadily grew in the wealth, importance of the power, it was able to extend its influence over the other nations of the islands. The English Parliament, which had seized power from the monarchy in 1688 at the end of the protracted conflict, was the instrument through which a nation state with England as its center came to be forged. The Act of a Nation, the Union 1707 between the England and the Scotland that resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain meant in effect that England was able to impose its influence on Scotland. The British Parliament was henceforth dominated by the English members. So like this way the whole British Empire, Parliament was dominated by the English members, and they were favored in English language. The growth of the British identity meant that Scotland's distinctive culture and political institutions were systematically suppressed. The Catholic clans that inhabited the Scottish Highlands suffered terrible repression whenever they attempted to assert their independence. The Scottish Highlands were forbidden to speak their Gaelic language or wear their national dress, and large numbers were forcibly driven out of their homeland. Those who have not followed this British, and they were turned out from the homeland. Ireland suffered a similar fate. It was a country deeply divided between the Catholics and the Protestants. The English helped the Protestants of Ireland to establish their dominance over a largely. So like this way, English always helped the Protestant. And here it's written, Catholic revolts against British dominance were suppressed. They were not in favor of the British language, the Catholic ones. After a failed revolt led to by Wolfe Tone and his United Irishmen 17 in 1988, Ireland was forcibly incorporated into the United Kingdom in 1801. A new British action was forged through the propagation of the dominant English culture. The symbols of the New Britain, the British flag, Union Jack, and the national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, the English language were actively promoted, and the olden nations survived only as subordinate partners in this. So, like this way, Britain had already favored the British flag and the national anthem and the English language. So, now tomorrow, before I should start another unit, you will just go through the box number 2 about the Giuseppe Garibaldi. So you have to read it yourself. Now next unit, 5th unit, visualizing the nation, I will start from tomorrow.